Eli never thought his life would change so quickly. He was just an ordinary human living on a small space station far from Earth. He worked as a mechanic, fixing machines and ships for the few travelers who passed through. Life was simple, quiet, and safe, but everything changed the day the message came. A loud alarm rang through the station. A bright hologram appeared in the center of the room. It was a message from the Varelian Empire, a powerful alien civilization far away. The message said they were holding a grand tournament, a test of skill, strength, and intelligence, to find a champion. This champion would help decide the future of many worlds. Eli did not understand why he was chosen. Humans were rare in the galaxy, and many aliens thought they were weak and unimportant. But the message said one human must take part. Eli's name was picked. At first, Eli wanted to say no. He was afraid. The idea of fighting against strange, powerful aliens was terrifying. But the message promised great rewards for the winner, a prize that could change his life forever. So, with a mix of fear and hope, Eli accepted. He traveled through space in a small old ship. The journey was long and lonely. When he finally arrived, he saw a world unlike anything he had ever imagined. The planet was huge, with shining cities that floated in the air and forests that glowed with strange colors. The air was different but fresh. The sky had 2 suns, making the day bright and warm. The tournament took place in a massive arena, filled with thousands of beings from many different species. Some looked like animals, others like machines, and some were shapes Eli could not even describe. They all watched quietly, curious about the human. Eli felt out of place. His body was weaker and smaller compared to many of the other fighters. Some laughed when they saw him. Others whispered, saying humans had no chance. But Eli was determined. He had a secret. He knew how to think fast and use his mind to solve problems. He knew how to survive. The first challenge began. It was a test of speed and agility. Eli dodged traps, jumped over pits, and ran faster than anyone expected. He was careful and calm, watching every move. When the challenge ended, Eli was one of the few left standing. The crowd murmured in surprise. As the days passed, Eli faced stronger opponents and harder tests. Each time, he used his cleverness and human creativity to find new ways to win. He made mistakes, but he never gave up. Slowly, respect grew for the human challenger. Unbeknownst to Eli, watching from the royal balcony was Princess Kalia. She was young but wise, and ruled beside her father, the emperor. Kalia saw something special in Eli, a spark that no one else had. She smiled quietly, curious about this human who dared to stand tall in the face of giants. The tournament was just beginning, but Eli had already made one thing clear. Humans were not weak. They could surprise even the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Princess Kalia sat in her high seat in the great hall of the Varelian Empire's palace. The room was filled with light from tall windows that showed the shining city outside. But Kalia's eyes were not on the city. They were on the large arena below, where the tournament was happening. The crowd was loud and excited, but Kalia stayed calm. She had watched many tournaments in her life. They were usually full of strong, proud warriors from many worlds. But this time was different. There was something unusual about the human named Eli. Kalia had heard stories about humans before. They were rare visitors to the galaxy and often underestimated. Most aliens believed humans were weak and small, but Eli was different. Even in the first challenges, he moved with speed and cleverness that surprised everyone. He did not just rely on strength or weapons. He used his mind in ways Kalia had never seen before. Kalia leaned forward, her eyes sharp and curious. She watched Eli solve puzzles and avoid traps that other champions failed. When others rushed into danger, Eli stayed calm and patient. He learned quickly and changed his plans in the middle of the fight. The crowd was beginning to cheer for the human, and some of the other warriors looked worried. "Why does he fight like that?" whispered one of Kalia's advisors. "He is too small, too weak." Kalia smiled slightly. "Strength is not always about muscle," she said softly. "There is power in the mind and in the heart. Eli has both." The princess remembered her own training as a child. She knew that sometimes the unexpected was the strongest weapon. Eli's ways were strange, but they worked. The more she watched, the more she felt a deep respect for him. Later, when the tournament was paused for rest, Kalia sent a message to Eli's camp. She wanted to meet him, to understand the human who was changing the rules of the game. Eli was surprised when a royal envoy came to him with an invitation. He had never dreamed of meeting a princess, let alone one from such a powerful empire. He felt nervous but also honored. The meeting took place in a quiet garden inside the palace. Flowers of many colors bloomed under two suns, and soft music played from hidden instruments. Kalia smiled warmly. "Eli," she said, "you have shown courage and wisdom that few others have. You do not fight like a warrior, but like a true champion." Eli looked at her and nodded. "Thank you, princess. I only try to do my best." Kalia's eyes sparkled. "You are more than just a competitor now. I want to offer you something. A reward if you continue to surprise us all. Something unimaginable." Eli's heart beat faster. What could this reward be? He did not know, but he felt that this tournament was about more than just winning fights. It was about changing the future. As they spoke, far below in the arena, the other champions prepared for the next round. Eli's journey had only just begun, and so had the story of an unlikely friendship between a human and an alien princess. The sun hung high in the sky of Varelia as the tournament's next challenge began. Eli stood at the edge of the massive arena, surrounded by warriors of many shapes and sizes. Some were tall with many arms. Others had sharp claws or glowing eyes. All of them stared at Eli with doubt or anger. To them, he was still just a human, a small, fragile species. But Eli did not feel small. He felt ready. The challenge was announced. This round will test both strength and wit. You must capture the flag hidden deep in the maze of echoes and return it to the center. The maze of echoes was famous across the galaxy. It was not only a physical maze, but one filled with puzzles, traps, and illusions that could confuse even the smartest beings. Eli took a deep breath. His heart beat fast, but his mind was calm. He knew he could not fight the others with brute force. Instead, he needed to use his brain. The horn sounded, and the warriors rushed toward the maze. Eli ran quickly, but carefully. The first traps were sharp spikes, hidden under thin glass. Eli watched the shadows and learned to step where the light did not fall. Many warriors were caught and forced to leave the race. Inside the maze, the walls seemed to move. Echoes of footsteps and whispers filled the air, making it hard to know where to go. Eli closed his eyes for a moment and listened carefully. He noticed a pattern in the sounds, a rhythm that helped him choose the right path. Suddenly, a giant door blocked his way. It had strange symbols carved into its surface. Eli studied the symbols and remembered a riddle from a story his grandmother once told him. With a smile, he touched the correct symbols in the right order. The door opened slowly. Beyond the door lay the flag, glowing with bright blue light. Eli reached out and grabbed it. As he did, the maze began to shake. The walls started to close in. Eli ran as fast as he could. His legs burned, but he did not stop. Other warriors were still trapped inside or fighting with each other. Eli's careful thinking and quick reflexes gave him an advantage. Finally, he burst out of the maze and ran to the center of the arena. He placed the flag on the pedestal just as the timer stopped. The crowd went wild. Aliens cheered and shouted Eli's name. Even the other warriors clapped, some with smiles, some with surprise. Princess Kalia watched from her seat, her eyes shining. Eli had done more than win the round. He had shown that strength and wit together made a powerful force. After the challenge, many came to talk with Eli. Some offered friendship, others offered respect. Eli felt different now, not just a human among aliens, but a true competitor. As the sun set on Varelia, Eli knew the tournament was far from over. Greater challenges awaited, but he was ready to face them, using his mind, his heart, and the strength that came from never giving up. And somewhere in the palace, Princess Kalia planned her next move. The human was proving to be more than a surprise. He was a key to a future she had only begun to imagine. After the Maze of Echoes challenge, the excitement in the Virelian Empire grew louder. Eli had proven himself a clever and strong competitor. The crowds talked about the human who used his mind and heart to win against powerful alien champions. But for Princess Kalia, Eli was more than a competitor. He was a symbol of change. One quiet evening, under the twin suns of Varelia, a royal messenger came to Eli's quarters with a sealed message. The seal bore the princess's symbol, a shining star intertwined with a silver vine. Eli's hand shook slightly as he opened it. The letter was simple but clear. You are invited to meet Princess Kalia at the palace garden. There is something I wish to offer you, a reward unlike any other. Eli's mind raced. What could the princess want from him? And what was this unimaginable reward? The next day, Eli arrived at the palace garden, a peaceful place filled with glowing flowers and soft music. Princess Kalia was waiting, dressed in royal robes that shimmered in the sunlight. Eli, she said with a warm smile, you have shown great courage and wisdom. You have changed many minds about humans, but there is more to this tournament than just fighting. Eli nodded, his curiosity growing. I want to understand. What is this reward you speak of? Kalia's smile deepened. It is an ancient gift from my family, a treasure that holds power beyond imagination. It can give knowledge, strength, and the chance to shape the future. She stepped closer and handed Eli a small glowing crystal. It pulsed gently with light, warm to the touch. This crystal, Kalia explained, is from a long-lost civilization that once ruled this part of the galaxy. It contains secrets of energy and wisdom that no one else has. With it, you could protect your people, help your world, even change the course of history. Eli stared at the crystal in amazement. It was beautiful, mysterious, and powerful. But accepting it was also a big choice. It meant trusting the Virelian Empire and the princess. Why would you offer this to me? Eli asked honestly. I am just a human. Kalia looked into his eyes. Because you see the world differently. You fight with your heart and mind, not just your strength. You have the courage to make a new path. And that is why I believe you can use this gift wisely. For a moment, Eli felt the weight of the decision. But inside, a spark of hope grew. This was more than a tournament now. It was a chance to change not only his life but the future of many worlds. He took the crystal carefully. I accept, Princess. I will do my best. Kalia's eyes shone with pride. Good. Together, we will face whatever comes next. As Eli held the glowing crystal, he knew his journey was changing. The prize was not just about winning battles. It was about trust, friendship, and a power that was truly unimaginable. The palace was full of whispers. The gift Princess Kalia gave to Eli, the glowing crystal, was no ordinary prize. It was a secret treasure of great power. Some in the court saw it as a blessing, but others saw it as a threat. Eli felt the change immediately. Where once many had ignored or doubted him, now he was watched closely. Not all eyes were friendly. In the grand halls, powerful nobles met in secret rooms. Some whispered that humans should never hold such power. They are unpredictable, one said. This human might bring danger to the empire. Others argued, Eli has proven himself brave and clever. He could be the key to peace between worlds. The princess was aware of these tensions. She knew giving Eli the crystal was risky, but she believed in him. Meanwhile, Eli trained every day with the crystal. He tried to understand its strange energy. It felt alive, pulsing softly with light. When he focused, he sensed new ideas and images in his mind. Visions of distant stars and ancient technology. But the crystal also warned of danger. One night, as Eli rested in his quarters, a shadow moved silently outside. He woke to a soft sound, a whisper carried by the wind. Someone was trying to enter his room. Eli acted quickly. Using his growing connection with the crystal, he created a small shield of light. The shadow stopped, then vanished. The intruder was gone, but the threat was clear. The next day, Eli told Princess Kalia what happened. She frowned deeply. "There are those who fear change," she said. "They will try to stop you." Eli nodded. "I understand, but I am not alone." Kalia smiled. "No, you are not." Together, they planned to face the challenges ahead. They knew the crystal's power could unite many worlds or cause great conflict. Far away, in the dark corners of the galaxy, a forgotten enemy stirred. An ancient species that had been locked away for centuries now began to wake. They sought the power of the crystal for themselves. As the tournament continued, Eli and Kalia prepared for more than just contests of strength. They prepared for a battle that could decide the fate of the galaxy. The human who once felt small and powerless was now at the center of a growing storm. But with courage, trust, and the mysterious crystal, Eli was ready to face whatever came next. Eli spent hours every day studying the glowing crystal. It was no ordinary object. It felt alive, as if it had a mind of its own. Sometimes it pulsed with light, and at other times, it seemed to whisper secrets only Eli could hear. Princess Kalia visited him often. Together, they tried to understand the artifact's power. They used ancient books from the palace library and spoke with wise scholars, but the crystal's true nature remained a mystery. One evening, while holding the crystal, Eli closed his eyes. Suddenly, a vision came to him, a flash of a lost civilization from long ago. He saw towering cities made of shining metal, machines that flew like birds, and people who lived in harmony with powerful technology. The vision faded, but Eli knew the crystal held knowledge from this ancient world. It was more than just energy. It was a key to understanding forgotten wisdom. Kalia watched him closely. "This artifact is the legacy of our ancestors," she said softly. "It was hidden away for a reason. Its power is great, but dangerous if used without care." Eli nodded. "I feel its strength growing inside me. It shows me things, but I am still learning how to control it." As days passed, Eli discovered new abilities. He could create small energy shields, move objects without touching them, and sense danger before it happened. The crystal connected him to the energy around Varelia, the stars, even the life force of the planet itself. But with power came responsibility. Eli knew he had to master the crystal, not just for himself, but for everyone depending on him. One night, while practicing, the crystal suddenly glowed brighter than before. A message appeared in Eli's mind, a warning. An ancient enemy, long thought defeated, was returning. They sought the crystal's power to conquer the galaxy. Eli shared the warning with Princess Kalia. "We must prepare," she said. "The peace we hope for is fragile." Together, they gathered their closest allies, warriors, scientists, and diplomats. They formed a plan to protect the crystal and prepare for the coming threat. Eli felt the weight of his role. He was no longer just a mechanic from a small station. He was a guardian of ancient power and a symbol of hope for many worlds. As he looked up at the stars, he felt both fear and excitement. The journey ahead would be hard, but he was ready to face it with the princess by his side. The secrets of the artifact were only beginning to unfold, and Eli knew that unlocking them could change the fate of the galaxy forever. The sky over Varelia darkened as the twin suns set, casting long shadows across the shining city. Eli stood on the palace balcony, looking out toward the horizon. He felt a strange chill despite the warm air. The warning from the crystal was coming true. An ancient enemy was waking from a long sleep. News arrived quickly. Scouts reported that the warlike species, known as the Zarkun, had begun moving toward Varelia's borders. The Zarkon were fierce warriors, known for their brutal attacks and hunger for power. They had been locked away for centuries by the ancestors of Princess Kalia's people. Now, they sought the crystal's power to rebuild their empire. Princess Kalia joined Eli on the balcony. Her face was calm but serious. "This is the moment we have feared," she said. "The Zarkon will not stop until they have everything." Eli clenched his fists. "We can't let them take the crystal. Its power is too great for anyone to misuse." Kalia nodded. "That is why we must unite all our forces, aliens and humans alike. Only together can we stand against this threat." The palace turned into a hive of activity. Warriors trained harder, scientists worked to strengthen defenses, and diplomats sent messages to other planets, asking for help. Ela joined the preparations, learning how to use the crystal's power to protect and heal. In the arena where the tournament had begun, fighters gathered not for sport, but for war. Eli's fellow competitors, once rivals, now stood as allies. They respected Eli for his courage and leadership. The princess addressed the united forces. "This is not just a battle for our home," she said. "It is a fight for the future of the galaxy. We must be strong, smart, and brave." Eli felt a deep pride as he looked at the crowd. They were ready to fight not just for themselves, but for peace and hope. As the first battle drew near, the Zarkon forces arrived. Massive ships darkening the skies, filled with warriors eager to conquer. The clash was fierce. Eli used the crystal's power to shield his friends and create barriers that blocked enemy attacks. He moved through the battlefield with quick thinking and calm focus, helping turn the tide. The Zarkon were strong, but the unity of the Empire's forces was stronger. Together, humans and aliens fought side by side, proving that differences could be a source of strength. After hours of battle, the Zarkon retreated, but it was clear the war was far from over. Eli looked at Princess Kalia, who smiled tiredly but with hope. "We won today, but we must be ready for what comes next." Eli nodded, feeling the heavy responsibility on his shoulders. The crystal had given him power, but it was the courage and trust of many that would truly save their worlds. As the stars appeared in the night sky, Eli knew the fight for the future was only beginning, and he was ready. The day of the great battle arrived. The sky above Varelia was filled with dark warships, casting long shadows over the glowing city. Eli stood beside Princess Kalia on the palace walls, watching the enemy forces approach. The Zarkon were more powerful than anyone had feared. Eli's heart beat fast, but his mind stayed clear. He held the glowing crystal tightly, feeling its warmth and power. He knew this battle would decide the fate of the Varelian Empire, and maybe the whole galaxy. The armies clashed with a deafening roar. Energy blasts lit up the sky, and warriors fought fiercely on the ground. Eli moved quickly through the battlefield, using the crystal's power to create shields that protected his allies from deadly attacks. Princess Kalia led the Virelian warriors with grace and strength. She fought alongside her people, inspiring them to keep going even when the enemy seemed unstoppable. Eli admired her courage and knew they needed each other to win. At one point, Eli faced a massive Zarkon commander. The enemy was huge, with sharp armor and glowing red eyes. They charged at Eli with a heavy weapon. Using quick thinking, Eli raised a shield just in time to block the blow, then used the crystal's power to send a blast of energy that pushed the commander back. The battle was long and brutal. Many lives were lost, but the united forces of Varelia fought with determination and heart. Humans and aliens stood side by side, their differences forgotten in the face of danger. As the sun began to set, Eli and Kalia saw the enemy fleet start to retreat. The Zarkon ships moved away, damaged and defeated for now. The people of Varelia cheered, but they knew the war was not over. After the battle, Eli helped treat the wounded and rebuild the city. The crystal's power could heal, and Eli learned to use it to mend wounds and bring hope to the people. Princess Kalia came to him one evening in the palace garden. "You have done more than anyone expected," she said softly. "You have brought our people together and given us hope." Eli smiled. "I couldn't have done it without you, and without everyone who fought." Kalia looked at him with respect. "The future is still uncertain, but with you here, I believe we can face whatever comes." Eli felt proud, but also aware of the challenges ahead. The crystal was powerful, but so were their enemies. He knew the battles to come would test their courage again and again. For now, Varelia was safe. The city's lights shone brighter than ever, a symbol of unity and strength. And Eli, the human from a small space station, was a hero who had changed the fate of many worlds. As night fell and stars filled the sky, Eli and Kalia stood together, ready to face the new dawn together. The morning sun rose over Varelia, casting warm light on the recovering city. The battle had ended, but its effects were still visible. Buildings were repaired, gardens replanted, and families reunited. The people worked together to rebuild what was lost. Eli walked through the city streets, feeling a deep sense of hope. His journey had started as a simple chance to compete, but now it was much more. He was part of something bigger, a new beginning for many worlds. The princess watched from her palace window. Princess Kalia's heart was full of pride. Eli had earned a place among her people, not just as a champion but as a leader and friend. His courage had inspired others to believe in peace and unity. A special ceremony was held in the Great Hall. Leaders from many planets gathered to honor those who fought bravely. Eli stood beside Kalia as she spoke to the crowd. "Today," she said, "we celebrate not only victory, but the strength found in trust and friendship. Eli, a human, has shown us that unity can overcome even the greatest challenges." The crowd cheered loudly. Eli felt the warmth of their respect. He knew his role was changing. He was no longer just a visitor or a competitor. He was a symbol of hope and cooperation across the stars. After the ceremony, Kalia approached Eli with a serious smile. "There is much work ahead," she said. "We must build alliances and prepare for the future. Will you stand with me?" Eli nodded without hesitation. "I will. Together, we can make a difference." In the days that followed, Eli and Kalia traveled to distant worlds, meeting leaders and sharing stories. They spoke of peace, progress, and the power of understanding. The glowing crystal remained with Eli, a reminder of the ancient legacy they carried. But not all were pleased with this new alliance. Some worlds doubted humans and feared change. Eli and Kalia faced challenges in their mission to unite different peoples. Yet each step forward brought more hope. One evening, as they looked out at the stars, Eli thought about how far he had come. From a mechanic on a small station to a key figure in a galaxy-wide effort for peace. Kalia smiled beside him. "The future is bright," she said, "and it is ours to shape." Eli felt ready. The battles and trials had made him stronger, wiser. Together with Kalia, he was ready to face whatever challenges came next. The galaxy was watching, waiting for the new dawn to shine. And with courage and friendship, Eli knew they could create a better tomorrow for all. The stars twinkled brightly over Varelia as Eli and Princess Kalia stood at the edge of the palace balcony. The glowing crystal rested safely in Eli's hand, shining softly like a small sun. Their journey had been long and full of challenges, but this moment felt like a new beginning. Eli looked out into the vast galaxy. He thought about everything that had happened, the tournament, the battles, the friendships, and the hope they had built. Now, the real adventure was about to begin. "Princess Kalia," Eli said, "the crystal is more than a prize. It is a key to so much we do not yet understand." Kalia nodded. "Yes, it holds secrets of the past and the future. Together, we can unlock its power and explore new worlds. We can build a galaxy where humans and aliens live in peace." Eli smiled. "I never imagined this when I first arrived. I was just a simple mechanic." "You are much more than that now," Kelia said gently. "You are a leader, a protector, and a friend." They made plans to travel beyond Varelia, to explore distant planets and find the ancient knowledge hidden in a crystal. Scientists, explorers, and diplomats joined their mission. Their goal was to learn, to teach, and to bring hope to places still caught in darkness. The galaxy was full of mysteries and dangers, but also beauty and potential. With the crystal's power and the unity of many worlds, they believed they could face anything. As they prepared to leave, Kelia looked at Eli. "Are you ready?" Eli took a deep breath. "I am. For the first time, I feel like I belong to something greater, and I know we can make a difference." The ship lifted off, leaving the shining cities of Varelia behind. Stars stretched out before them like paths of light. The adventure of a lifetime awaited. Together, Eli and Kelia flew toward the unknown, a future full of unimaginable possibilities. And so, the story of a human and an alien princess became a legend, a tale of courage, friendship, and hope that would inspire generations to come. The galaxy was no longer a place of fear and conflict. It was a place where all beings, no matter their origin, could stand side by side, strong, united, and ready for whatever the stars might bring.